Hey guys, welcome back to Girls Who Truck. My name is Samantha. I am the owner. I am a fleet owner out of Central Florida, Mulberry, Florida to be exact. I run a mixture of owner operators and then company drivers. Everybody on my fleet is 1099, however, and majority of my fleet is reefer. I do have one guy that prefers to run dry van, and then I do run dry van every once in a while. But majority of the numbers that I'm going to be discussing with you guys today is going to be based off of reefer freight in and out of the state of Florida. We are an over-the-road carrier. We go over towards Texas, up towards Iowa, Wisconsin, that area. And then we come back over to the east side of the United States, Maryland, New Jersey, stuff like that. And then we work our way back down. Most of what we were doing was running from Florida up to the Midwest and then back, because that's where we were seeing a lot of the money. But now that produce is coming into swing, a lot of the money is moving down south to McAllen and Laredo and stuff like that, and the Midwest is kind of drying up. So we're not working our way up to the Midwest as much. We were getting our trucks into Minnesota, way out in like Sioux City, Iowa, and that's where we were getting our big rates coming back into Florida. But those loads have gone from like $6,000 to $4,200 if you're lucky, and that's pushing it. So what I wanted to talk about, there's a big thing in trucking. Everybody says this and that. My channel, the purpose of my channel is trucking transparency. I really am a fleet owner. I really do run my guys. I do all the work. I am a mom. I work from home. I have a full shop. Everything that I say on here is the God's honest truth. So I think that's what kind of sets my channel apart from others, and I appreciate everybody who watches and listens, and even the people that comment, even if the comments are negative. What I do works for me, and if it doesn't work for you or you don't think it's good enough, then more power to you. I wish everybody was out there making $4 a mile. I really do. And I hope that, eventually we can get back to some of those rates. But for now, these are my rates. This is how I'm operating my company. This is how I'm managing to barely make ends meet and stay afloat until, the rates return to a somewhat normal price point, I guess is what you would want to call it. Anyways, what I want to do is I want to make these videos, and I'm going to start doing them monthly, and then I'm going to take quarterly numbers and combine them all together and compare a quarter. There's 4 quarters in a year. I don't know what people know. There's 4 quarters in a year. So January, February, March is quarter 1. April, May, June is quarter 2. July, August, September is quarter 3. And then October, November, December is quarter 4. So I thought it would be fun to make a video every month and price out what my per mile rate is. And then at the end of the quarter, I can compare those 3 months together to get a better idea of what my average per mile is for that quarter. As we all know, holidays bring an uptick in rates for trucking. So quarter 4, Q4 is usually up higher. The rate per mile is probably going to be higher. These are what my expectations are, and it'll be really fun to see if what we expect to happen is actually what comes true. You have Thanksgiving in quarter 4, you have Christmas, you have New Year's, all those things are happening in quarter 4. Q1, you have really one of the biggest holidays is going to be Mother's Day. We're going to haul flowers for Mother's Day and Valentine's Day. People spend billions of dollars on those kinds of items. So that's kind of where we focus. We haul flowers out of Miami that come up from South America. Beautiful flowers that come up from South America. We run down to Miami and get them, and then we mostly deliver them to Walgreens. Tiny stores, not distribution warehouses. My drivers, some of them have like 20 drops on them, but they pay pretty good. But they can be difficult to get in and out of those Walgreens. Summer stuff you're going to see, starting now, we're ending quarter 1. We're going to start into quarter 2. You're going to see a lot of produce in this season. So I've been hauling a lot of berries. Now we're going to turn around and do blackberries, blueberries, melons, and stuff like that, and hopefully survive this summer heat. And then we'll do potatoes and stuff like that. And I'm going to bet that quarter 3 is going to be maybe our lowest revenue per mile. But anyways, let me get into the nitty gritty of it. I don't want to keep these videos too long. I want to keep them interesting. If you have any questions or have anything to say, always feel free to comment. I try to reply to everybody that I can. And like I said, I always appreciate the input, good or bad. If it is bad, if you have a question or something direct, I would love to respond. And the point of this channel, like I said, is just transparency in the trucking industry. So if there's something that you guys want to know or think that I could be doing better, I'm always open to any suggestions. Honestly, I'm not a hard-headed person. I do run my business a certain type of way. I do like the way I do it. I work the spot market mostly. I am trying to get into a little bit of contract freight as I get a few more drivers in, but just because I run such a small fleet, it's hard to stay into a contracted lane because we all know drivers are not always reliable. I hate to say that, but as a fleet owner, it is true. So I broke everything down by weeks. So I did week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. Now March is not over, but when I finish my billing next week, that's going to fall into April because I do use a factoring company like I've mentioned in another one of my videos. If you have any questions or comments about factoring companies, I have another video if you want to go watch that. And hopefully I can answer some questions in there, or you can respond to that video and I can get back to you on that. So I do my billing weekly and through my factoring company. There are a couple of them that I do bill on my own, and I kind of bill those as those come in, but majority of my billing takes place on Thursdays. So that's when I close everything out. So next Thursday is going to be April. So week 1 for me is going to be March 1st through March 7th. That's a Friday through, all of these are going to start on Friday and end on a Thursday when I finish my billing. I had 10 drivers at that time. I drove 22,889 miles for miles for that. And all of these miles that I'm naming out include deadhead miles. These are not just loaded miles. So some of them are deadhead. So again, 22,889 miles for that week, 10 drivers working, and we averaged $2.63 a mile. Again, these are reefer runs, one dry-van guide, somewhere in the mix of all that. So majority of it is reefer. So $2.63 a mile that week. Week 2 is going to be March 8th through March 14th. I had 11 drivers running that week, and total miles for that was 21,307 miles. And we averaged $2.38 a mile that week. Week 3 is going to be March 15th through March 21st. I had 10 drivers running that week, and we averaged 20,258 miles for an average per mile of $2.45. Week number 4 is going to be 3/22 through 3/28, which is March 22nd through March 28th, and we averaged 19,074 miles. And that brought our average per mile to $2.41. Again, for the 4th week, we had 10 drivers. So all of my miles combined, this is going to be week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. Everything combined, again, includes deadhead miles and loaded miles. I ran a total of 83,530 miles. 148 loads in total for the entire fleet. For my 1 week I had 11 guys, the other 3 weeks I had 10 guys, which gave me an average of $2.47 a mile, which isn't bad. That's what my whole fleet ran, $2.47 a mile. Week 1 seemed to do a lot better, which was March 1st through March 7th. That averaged $2.63 a mile, and I believe, stop me if I'm wrong, that was when there was the big, there was a storm going on up north, so that could have drugged the rates up. So, yeah, I just want to talk about that kind of stuff, get it out there, see what everybody else is doing, how many people think I'm doing terribly, how many people think we're just right on par, how many people think that we're doing good. So that's what our fleet averaged, 10 drivers, 83,530 miles, and then $2.47 a mile on reefer freight. What I am trying to get to, and I would like to get these miles closer to 100,000 per, so what I'm trying to do is get my drivers to do 10,000 miles, so that way I can get to 100,000 miles per month. That's kind of a goal that I'm working towards, to get my guys to move around a little bit more. We are an old school trucking company. I'm not a pusher, but there are things that we can do to make more money, and my guys have seen it as we're moving along. We're working towards more consistent dispatching, more consistent movement. As soon as your 10 hours is up, we'll just go ahead and get it done, stuff like that. So we have seen an increase in driver paychecks, which has been great. They're appreciating it. I'm appreciating it. I am a 70-30 carrier split, so they get 70%, I get 30%. No hidden fees in that. That includes everything. There's no rentals, no reefer fuel on top of that. So it's a pretty fair number that I try to work with. Again, transparency and taking care of my drivers is one of my top priorities. Anyways, be on the lookout in the next couple weeks. I'm going to do a quarter one overall per mile video, just like this one, where I can do January, February, and March and just compare what the market was doing at those times. January, I think, was a better month for everybody, and everybody was kind of hopeful, and then we fell off in February. So look out for that video. Hopefully I can get it out to you guys next week about what we did per mile. I'm going to break it down per week, per month, and then I'll do a whole quarter analysis as the quarter as a whole. Let me know if you have any comments or questions or concerns, or if you have any ideas for my company, or I am looking for owner-operators. So if you are open in Florida, unless you have your own trailer as well, I don't really want to hire anybody out of state. But if you are local in Central Florida, I am out of Mulberry, which is Lakeland, Tampa area. My email's on here, or you can comment on one of my videos, and I'll get back to you. I am looking for some new owner-operators for some freight that I am working on hauling. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for my next video. And as always, I appreciate everybody's support, good and bad. Happy Thursday.